Okay, so now ask the question, Tatiana, so it will be recorded, you know.
Yeah. I just want to know, how is the energy moving and how that is affecting the body? Because it's like a new process that you are going through the moment that the people reach the realization. So I would like to know, what are the manifestations? How do you feel? Maybe the energy runs faster. I don't know.
Well, now it's very difficult to answer that question because in everybody's body, the energy is running differently as you do in sadhana and all of that, because everybody has blockages in different parts of the body, right? So as you do your sadhana, certain places get unblocked and get, but we call it purification or whatever name, right? So when the energies awaken, you sometimes feel very differently, right? People, when you read on the internet, people have many different experiences, but most of it, they feel like a movement, you know, in the spinal column area, like the back, you know, moving up as an energy in the back, like if you follow the nervous system, right? And then it goes up. So sometimes it have blockages in the middle, you know, some way. And because it's flowing, it just goes where it finds it needs blockage, you know. It's kind of like, it is just flowing. So like a river, it's going to clear whatever in its path as it goes through the body, right? So sometimes an awakening could feel more powerful because there's more blockage. Because if something, you know, if something is there, you know, and it's trying to get through, it feels more of an obstruction, right? So then you feel more of something, right? If it's more clear, then it's not a big thing, you know. And so as you meditate, you know, you clear a lot of things. And when you have a guru, they kind of clear the main channel for you, you know. It's like they would clear, there's a block here, or there's a block here, and there's one, they have 3 knots. They usually say in yoga that there are 3 knots. But, you know, as I don't know the names because I don't really go back and read those things, you know, but generally, you know, so it's cleared up. You're, as a meditator, you know, it's doing that. So within our body, this movement is taking place, or we feel it as movement. Is it movement, or is it because, you know, there's blockage, we're feeling it, you know? So as it clears more and more, then you wouldn't feel so much movement because it's clear now, right? So it's just like you feel something, but it's not the same as when you started, because now it's cleared up, right? So it's the river found the flow and is flowing to the ocean, you know. So whatever it is, it doesn't have any big blockages. So that's kind of how to think about it, you know. So what happens though when it comes over here, you know, that's when, so what we should be really doing is, because we have to be grounded, is like as the energy comes up, we must also bring it down through the front. See, when I was meditating, I did not even know that. I was just concentrating here, as the guru said, and she said the energy would take care of us, right? It would take care, the guru's energy would take care. And it's true, but sometimes, you know, sometimes in certain people, you need a little bit of help, or you need a little bit of something to kind of ease, you know, ease the stuff that's going on, you know. So you can breathe in, take the energy up, breathe out, just bring it forward. But you don't do that a lot, like you do it once or twice, because when you do that, it goes and it passes through each chakra. Because, you know, they have the pity of the chakras in front, right? But what about in the back? You know, so this way it's like, you know, you're going up and coming down sort of, and then you're grounding back to the earth. So in a way, you can stay healthy, because from my own journey, I never did that. So I would have so much in my head, so much going on, you know, and don't know what to do about it. I would read many books, but it still didn't help. And sometimes even when I try to bring the energy down, it would not go down. It would not go down at all. So that's why it's very different in each person. And I think each guru's energy may be a little different. You see, that I'm not sure, but what I've seen of my study, myself, and looking at different, you know, different people, is like, I look at it as this: within you lies a guru, within the guru is the guru, right? So when the guru has finished, been transformed, then the energy has become merged. So it's pure, it's light, it has a wattage to it, and it has the tendency to finish, to complete the journey, because it has finished the journey. So that's why when that guru touches you, it gives you that characteristic of you finishing your journey, because it's completed, sort of. You know, I look at it that way, because somebody else could come and do something, but then nothing going on, no movement taking place, like it doesn't have a lot of life. But the guru that the guru bestows on you, it has all this energy, all this life in it, and it kind of for me, it felt like that. It felt like, you know, I would feel something when I go to visit different gurus. I would feel the energy is different within my body, because I visited a few gurus, and I was in very close contact with them, you know, in front of them, sitting in the same room, and the energy would be a little different. How should I say? Some of them I would get kriya, some of them I won't, but I'll feel nice, you know, I'll feel nice, or I'll feel something. But when I sat with my guru, I felt it as so much power. You know, with the other gurus, I never felt it as so much power. So then I had to dismiss the argument that I have so much blockage, because I'm going to different, you know, it's like you're going to different wells to drink water, or different taps to drink water. And this one has more pressure, this one has less pressure, and this one, but all carrying the water. See? So each one has a different pressure coming out from the pipe. So they're teaching different people, right? Mm-hmm. So that the water that's coming out, you know, whichever one catch you, you're there, right? So so when the energy is fully purified, your system, then you don't have to worry how it's running, because then the divine just runs in you to do what is needed, to say what is needed, and to bring out the best. Like if you meet somebody and they come in and they're seeking help, whatever they are needed, the energy will do it. If it needs to give them whatever, it gives them. So then you become a conduit, you know, you become a network from the guru, from God, because you have merged in that. So then it works. So then you don't really have to worry too much about how it's working, you know. And that is something only when you start experience it can you understand like that, you know. Like there's no words I could say how it happens, but that is how it happened with me. I can't say if it happens the same with other people. I could only say what I experience. So so then you one thing my guru Ma said, she said, when the body is fully purified, Paramatma comes and works in the body. You know, it's like so Paramatma is one of the words for like God as the super soul, you know, God is in that way. So then that energy works through the body. This is what she said, you know, when that happens. So however God works, we can't say, like, we don't know what is best for somebody. And that was one of the hardest thing I had to learn, because we have a limited mind and a limited concept of what somebody needs. Like they come and they tell us they want cupcakes, right? So we want to give them cupcakes, but they're not supposed to get cupcakes. They're supposed to get something else, maybe carrot cake, or maybe a big cake, right? Or maybe they're not supposed to get any cake, right? But we, with our limited mind and our limited concept, we want to give them what they want, but is that right for them? So in a way, when you leave it up for God to come and do it, then you are surrendered to the divine energy, the divine force. So whatever that person is needed, you are not doing it. God's doing it, you see, because sometimes our limited mind and capability don't know, but in simple things we may know, you know, like if it's a simple problem, we all have intelligence, we all have proper thinking, we've helped a lot of people. So like in this case, you were telling me about the guy, so your instinct is right, so you could help them, you know. So it doesn't mean like we don't help nobody, we help them the best of what comes to us. Even now, don't feel like what's coming from you is not divine. Also, it is. Like whatever you told him, it's also coming from the divine, you know, because that's the intelligence within us. So, but you know, energy wise, we're talking, you know, because we feel it so much energy. We feel the energy and the emotion of people, which is another dimension, you know. Thinking and thoughts is the mind, but this other dimension is like energy itself, you know, and vibration. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't know what to tell you, you know. It's like
Thank you. Yes, yes, it answers my question. As you said, yes, we have changes, but as you said, everybody, it doesn't have exactly the same.
yeah,
It's depending on the needed, what they need.
yeah,
It's to be covered to do the change, the full change.
yeah. And then sometimes, you know, some big block might come out through a meditation, you know, and you might feel not so good for a little while, you know, like some people, something happened and they didn't feel good for a little bit, but then they feel good because it's just something cleared out. And it's like when these things happen, you wonder, well, how much stuff I have in here to clear, you know, as you're going along the path. It's like, okay, what happened there? But see, also, it's not just clearing happens, you know. New things come to us, you know, like how we become more intuitive, we become more intelligent, we begin to see things in a different light, like you know, like we see bad things not so much as how we saw them before. We don't see them as bad anymore, you know. It's like we see them as a way for the good to come, in a way. So we start seeing the world so differently from what our old concept was. So think of it as cleaning a house and clearing everything, and then bringing new decorative and beautiful things inside, you know, like courage, you know, compassion, beauty, and all that, you know. But as human beings, sometimes, you know, fear is like an instinct. It's like a primal instinct. So sometimes we get very brave, but sometimes something might happen and you might still feel a gist of fear, because this is how our body was made up, you know. So it will come, but because we're in the path, it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't cause our actions to detriment to do something. Like, you know, we would simmer down and we'd know, well, we got scared, and maybe call our guru or call our higher self, you know, we say those words, but we call on the stuff, and then the fear goes away, you know. So sometimes these things would come, like maybe something happened and we would get these primitive instincts sometimes, you know, but we are better able to handle it because while we're living in a human body, we're still human, you know, but because of that, it's not going to pile up on us. Like, you know, it won't be traumatic, like have so much of fear that it stays in there and becomes like a scar, you know. So, but because, you know, we are human, that is my understanding, you know, and that is my experience, you know. Like most of the day, what state I am just doing my stuff, you know, because I'm not interacting with anybody. Nothing's coming up to, you know, to interact with. If I read some post or something, maybe I might get an idea, oh, I need to talk about this, you know, because somebody said something, but I'm not really on the computer too much these days. So Mary, what was your question?
Thank you, Ma.
Well, that made me think about how different the energy is for me.
Yeah.
Stuff I've forgotten already, you know, from the beginning. You know, I used to like reserve 2 days afterwards to get the processing through.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen anymore. I don't need that. But what happened to me, it was like, I felt like I was the way I was feeling was coming from outside. Not that it was something I was clearing up. And I don't even know why I felt like that.
Yeah.
But because I don't know how to distinguish it, like, how do I know what that is, you know?
Well, you know, as it happens more and more, you'll be able to distinguish, you know, whether it's from the outside or the inside. But energy is energy, so it can come from the outside, because in the same way we are giving out, like I give out my energy, you feel it, it's coming from somewhere. So other people's energy could be coming too, right? So energies could be coming from other things, because this is what we are, and this is how the world is, you know. We share each other's energy space. I mean, if we're in a room and somebody's sad in the room and they start crying, all of us start to feel sad and cry, you know, feel to cry also. So it's like, we're just part of that thing. And so sometimes, so these are the new things I'm talking about, where you can sense outside energy, you know, like you couldn't sense it before, right? And now you're sensing outside energy versus inside energy. So this is what I was saying, like new things start popping into your being, like being aware of such things. So in the beginning, you were clearing this was something new, you know, it was so it was a different thing, and now you've grown a little, you've cleared up a lot of stuff, you know, and now you're noticing this is energy from the outside, you know. So these are the things that we start growing as we become more energy. We become more vibration and energy, you know, with light, sound, you know, vibration, frequency. These are the words we use. Because you see, most of the time when we are speaking, we are talking from the mind, you know, but our words also carry vibration and frequency. So like love carries a higher vibration than hate or whatever, you know, so whatever is coming from us is what we are giving out into the world. So that's why I said our little group can do work. I always say that because now you've cleared up a little bit and you're emitting more higher frequencies out there than a lot of people who are trying to kill themselves, or, you know, can't shut their thoughts off or something, you know, because our world has a lot of people from with different frequencies, or, you know, and so sometimes we wouldn't get along with somebody because they are vibrating different frequency to us, you know, and we would immediately feel that, you know, before we used to just say, oh, it's chemistry, right? Whether you like somebody or not, but now you're actually feeling like something, you're feeling something, you know, something like energy, something that you can't see, but you feel something, because our nervous system has become more sensitive now. Because what has happened, our body has become more clear, because it doesn't have the blockage, you know, so it's more translucent, it's more full of light, right? Instead of hard mass karma or something, you know, like things that will block in, right? So it's become sensitive now, because energy knows energy, sort of. Our system senses that. So we become sensei, right? Where does that word come from? We become sensitive, so now we are sensei. So so this is what the thing is, this is what the journey or the thing is coming about, you know. It's, I always say it like this: as human beings, we never think that we are still evolving, you know. We don't think that we are still evolving as beings. We just think, well, okay, we are this and that's all, you know, this is our world. And we don't think that we could be changing also, you know, we could be evolving and we could be adapting to this new higher, because we have to adapt to these new higher frequencies or whatever. And why? Because it's present in our body, it's present in our system. And if we look at, scientists had told us that we only use 10% of our brain, right? So why did creation have us only using 10%? Don't we have to evolve to use the other percent? So that is a possibility, right? And all these things are happening is to cause this shift, to cause this evolution. So in a way, what we are seeing now as intuition or feeling of energy and frequencies and stuff, what about if that's going to be our natural state in like 1,000 years, you know, like more and more? So what I'm saying is, aren't we evolving now? But first we got to fix the brain. We got to use the, you know, because what kind of beings can we be? Perhaps we'll just be sitting here and be traveling the universe. Who knows? So we can't limit ourselves. We have to keep seeing where this flower is going to bloom, where humanity is going to bloom, you know. So we read these books on philosophy and we don't think we think that is it because it is said in a book, right? But we have to think that the world is always growing. Our brain is growing. But have you noticed what we do? We always try to mimic the creator. You know, we always doing that because all our virtual world, we are creating a virtual world and doing all of that. And we want to create robots just like us, to look like us. Why? Because we are just children playing in this sandbox here, and what we see is what we imitate in, you know. So this is the whole thing, you know. So we don't know where our adulthood is, right? As a race, we don't know where our adulthood is going to end. So if we think of the universe as that, and we think ourselves as that, then the possibility is endless, you know. Right now, we get a little experience, you know, we feel this and we feel that. But what if you're just energy, but with intelligence, with substance, and you don't need a body no more? Now, I'm not going to say that, oh, all this is real. But what I'm saying is, when we observe the living universe, this is what we see, right? We see that how humanity was, how they became, and how they are becoming now. And we see that some of them are going down and some of them are going up. So there's a drastic difference, right? So there are so many stories of things like that, you know, when this section can't understand this section, you know. So where are we heading? We don't know. And were we heading like that before and something happened? Now we see many things in our society that we don't know what happened to the civilization, you know, like the people who built the pyramids and other great things in the world. Like, how could they just disappear and we don't know anything about it, you know? So there are many lost civilizations, you know, even, you know, like Lord Krishna's civilization is under the sea. Now they are finding it, right? And they had so much power. They had so much different things, you know. So we cannot limit ourselves and we cannot say we are everything or we've reached everything, you know, like. So, you know, when you know that you feel this oneness with everything, you know, is that the only way we can know and be kind to each other if we reach that experience, you know? Why can't we live like we know that? Like we know that we are all connected and we're connected to the earth and the universe, you know, and we all are equal in terms of we have the same kind of body and everything. And it's just what we put into ourselves that we are differentiated from others, what we focus on, you know. So I look at the universe like that, as infinity, as never ending, you know, and these are just phases of growth and phases of us, you know, to be something more, because we've always been something more. So if we learn how to use energy, you know, what are the possibilities? So we know that there are celestial beings. We know that there are other beings that, you know, psychic talk to, you know, that there are other beings out there that helps humanity. We know that there are masters out there. So it tells us that we can be more. That alone tells us that we can be more. And it's hard. So we don't have to rush into it. We go slowly, but at least we have our mind and our brain and our thoughts open, you know. So when you learn to sense energy from the outside and you sense it from the inside, then that's something new that's coming into your system to understand, you know. So we just got to go with that flow and know that sometimes there are no answers straight out, but sometimes the answers will come to you, or will come to you somehow, you know, in a book and somebody talking to somebody, like, you know. And there are no set ways in dealing with it. There, you know, gurus give different tools, you know, like if I read a book and stuff, there are many different ways to look at the same system, you know, our human body. And some have found various ways to cope better with it, you know. So sometimes their devotees don't have so much trouble because they have learned how to bring tools to assist. And mostly that is what is going on. Like, you find some way to make it easier as the person grows, you know. And so, like, you know how we have mantras, it's a good tool for somebody who starts, you know, to start to meditate. But you see, as you meditate, you don't, the mantra, you can't even say it anymore. You know, it's like you just go into this different places and feeling that the mantra is lost, you know. So it's tool to help you. So I don't know, maybe I'm not enlightened, who knows. I feel like there's always something new to know, you know. So you can only live how you live and do what you do at that moment, because that's what's coming at you at that time, you know. I decide I don't really want to do a lot of work and have a big crowd or anything, because that's not what I do. You know, they are looking for words, but I don't have words. So that's kind of, you know, whoever here can talk, you can talk. Tatiana can talk. Asha can sing. She can talk too. Whatever Mary wants to do, she can do. She can learn to sing and talk and do everything also. See, now I'm saying this, but all of you can learn all these things, because that's when you're using all your brain, right? As I was saying, you're using 10% or whatever. So, you know, everybody could learn to sing. Everybody could learn to dance or do art or something, you know. So there's no limit to what we can learn, because if we think about it, if we are here to learn, and all these things are possible to learn, then we might as well just learn it, because maybe there is some value to it, you know, in order to evolve to the next stage of vibration or whatever, you know. So if there are people who, they are masters who are living eternally in some other dimension, why can't we become masters too and see what they do? Maybe they are people who create new universes. Who knows? They're not people no more, so we say they are gods.
Light.
Yeah. So I just say we never limit ourselves, but we never think that we're better than everybody. But in a sense, okay, we are good, because we are better in ourselves. So yes, feel good about that. But you know, in the other sense that, you know, everybody is valid, everybody has a role. I look at it as everything makes up the universe, so every particle is important, right? Yeah. Without a missing particle, maybe the thing won't function. So every soul that's coming on the earth is a particle, right? It has to be there. It's doing something to that area it's in, whether it's causing chaos or causing love or whatever it's doing something. We have to accept that. So I don't know, Mary, if that answers your question in a way. It doesn't really answer, but it's just some thoughts on you know, figuring things out. Because ultimately we do have to figure out a lot of things, and we have to use all our capacity to understand it, because some books, the books don't tell everything. You know, books don't tell everything, but it's a good guidance, because if there weren't books, I would have really be lost. You know, I by reading as I was growing, I really learned a lot. I really did learn a lot. So,
Ma, the energy that you are feeling within you can be, you are giving out to the people, but you also can exchange or manifest a change with your energy in the environment.
Well, I don't know if I can do that. As I said, I leave it up to the divinity to do it. So I don't have to worry about it. It's kind of like when I sit with you guys, I don't have to call on the energy to do anything, like to like if I'm talking not about Zoom, right? Let's say we're meeting live somewhere, right? And you come for work, you come to really meditate, you know, it's not an informal thing that we just chit-chatting, right? We really come to do work. Then the full force of the energy is within me. So there's no thought about, okay, I'm going to give this out, I'm going to give that out, I'm going to bring this in and I'm going to bring that, because that is the world of thought. That is mind. So what I'm talking about is not mind. Mind does not exist in this realm.
Okay.
So then I don't have to think, well, you know what, do this. Well, I will be thinking too. I will say, well, okay, let's sing a song, or or let's do this, or let's do that. So I'll still be thinking, but as far as the energy is concerned, I am letting it manifest in its glory. I am letting it do what it's supposed to do, because that's the only way I could function, because I cannot stop it. I cannot, I can decrease it in the room, right? But so maybe some people can do that, but I know that you cannot, like a guru can decrease the energy in the room, right? Or increase it, right? And they can look at you, and just by watching you, they can awaken the energy in you. They can, make your chakras and them open, or whatever, those knots open. They can do all that stuff, right? But then they have to focus on that, like an individually thing, like somebody individually come and you want to give them a mantra, and you just have, like, depending on the guru, right? To get in trouble with the guru world now. So the thing is, some people do that and some don't, right? There are many gurus in the world, and they are working differently, and they are working according to what they know, what they do, and what they're doing, right? So some gurus have many disciples, some have few, some, like everybody's working according to whatever the divine is manifesting in them, whatever they are capable of, and whatever is good for their body. So I work in the capability of my body also. Like my body is like my guru, and her body was like her guru, and her guru was like his guru, right? So it's kind of like a day in this stream, so I can't do something in the other stream. I don't know, I joined this stream here, so I have to keep going on that stream, So like, for example, Tatiana, your guru would be a different stream, like a different lineage, right? So maybe he can manifest like that, or he work like that, for, it's like lack of not knowing. So it's like depending on how they want to do it. They don't have to do anything. They could do what they want, in a sense. People could do that. So, and, like maybe a man is different to a woman, who knows how the energy is working, because we are male, we are female, energy is running differently or something, So most of the words and philosophy out there were written by men. So what makes you feel that it is the same for women? Because, this Shakti is different working in a woman, because she bears a baby, okay?
Yeah.
So who knows, those are the things I leave it open.
Mm-hmm.
I leave it open. And sometimes we see miracles happen, when you go to people, and then a word gets around, this miracle happened by this guru, and then everybody's coming and stuff like that. Sometimes the guru didn't even do it, the divine just do it, but they get the praise, right? Sometimes they do it, depending on certain miracles. Sometimes they do it also, because they have that capability. They can do it. They do have that capability. But you see, most of the gurus don't do that, because what happens? Are you going to become a hospital, or you become a teacher of Vedanta? Are you going to teach and help the people to progress and vibrate and up their frequency, or are you just going to become a hospital? We have doctors, we have hospitals, so okay, come heal. Let them go heal, and they had to learn how to take care of their body.
Yeah.
You see, people have, that's the basic thing. What it is we're trying to do here, we're trying to put good things in our body, including good food, good company, and increase our brain capacity, understand the universe. If we could understand this little world, then we could understand the whole majesty. Nothing's out of reach. Because if we came from a source like that, then it's like that. So that is why I think teaching this that we're doing is so great, because you are changing a person. You're changing their mentality. You're changing them to look at the world differently. You're bringing love. Anywhere they go, they're taking love into the world, you know? So it's not one dimension of change. It's not just with the mind. So, for example, well, I wouldn't say me, but a guru could go some way and they don't have to say nothing. They just sit down there, right? And the love you will feel and the sweetness you'll feel, right? And you just sit down there and they're not doing anything. They're not speaking. They're not doing anything. So if you can become a being like that, isn't that worth something?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right? You're not doing anything. You don't have to, because you're emitting the thing. So it has become you. You have become the love. You have become the light. You have become the intelligence. You have become the thing. So you don't have to say the thing. You know, like if you're an apple, the apple doesn't have to say I'm an apple. It's just sitting there and it's an apple, right? So that is what this part is about. It's not a small thing that we're doing here. It's a great thing. It's a big thing. We are trying to become godlike people, right? Because we don't know what God is, right? You don't know what God is. But I mean, tell me, if the universe is running on automatic, you think God sit down there counting how much people doing good? His world running, he just have to sit there and everything is emitted, right? Everything is emitted, everything is working because we do that. We could now send, you know, IT people, they could probably create a house where everything is being done in the house. It's cooking food, it's doing everything. The robot is cleaning the house. I mean, if we mimic the creator. So what we do with we spare time, we want everything, you know, we are playing like that, making all that stuff. And what would be our future? Nobody doing anything, just sitting down home and getting fat. I don't know, you know, because they go order everything. They go have robots running the house, and I don't know what work they could be doing. So this is the thing. So if you can become like that, and you don't have to worry about, did I do that right? You know, did I really help that person? That's worries, right? So that's when you give it up to God. And that was the hardest thing for me to do, because my mind would be running like that. You know, I'm giving them this energy, but they, you know, what happens to them is so intense. It's like, how do I slow this down? I can't. It is just how it works with me. I really can't. Like today, I don't feel like I have a lot, you know, wearing this bracelet. I'm trying to not have too much in my head. So I don't even know how much meditation. It would be nice to see how much meditation you all get today, right? See if you all go in the head or the heart. But anyway.